Hey y'all, it's Courtney Phillips, co-founder of Gumbo Media and leader and creator of Gumbo Fit.
Yo, what's good? It's Ian Gonzalez.
Hey y'all, it's Courtney Phillips, co-founder of Gumbo Media and leader and creator of Gumbo Fit.
Yo, what's good? It's Ian Gonzalez, owner of Last Lap Corner Store and co-founder of 7 on Sundays Run Club.
And we'd like to welcome you to the Runners Club podcast. This is something that Ian and I have been thinking about for a while now, so we're very excited to bring this to the community.
Yeah, most definitely. When you're listening to this podcast, we're going to be talking about what it means to be an athlete today by sharing some of our personal journey. Because we all know running can be up and down. It can definitely be its own thing. So whether you're new to running and just starting your journey, or you've been getting these miles for a minute, we want to help motivate you and be the community that you need to enjoy running more.
We'll also be joined by a few of our good friends and taking in listener letters from you.
So with that being said, welcome to the Runners Club podcast.
So get ready, lace up, let's get into it. Action. We back. You know what I mean? Back for another second episode. This is Ian and Courtney and Ian, however you prefer to say it. And this is the Runners Club podcast. If you are listening to this episode, I'm sure you listened to episode 1, probably heard our intro. You're probably getting into the groove of things. You're probably getting familiar with our voices. Not like it's very hard to do, but you know what I mean? That's him, this is me. But ultimately, welcome back. We got things to talk about. So, Ian, do you have anything to say before we get into it?
What's good, y'all? Like, she cleared it all. That the intro is now just gonna be Courtney. We're not even gonna have no music and stuff like that. It's gonna be her popping in, bringing her energy. But we record on Wednesdays. It's literally the middle of the week, but I don't even know when the week truly starts. For me personally, I don't know about you, but like I come off the weekend of running and I rest on Monday, and then there's my Tuesday, which is crazy. We're gonna get into my Tuesdays later.
We don't get into that.
And then there's this Wednesday when we're recording the podcast, and I have no idea when my week starts and ends. It just completely happens. But Wednesday is now like the split in my life right now. So
okay.
I'm enjoying this. This is like where I could just release all the things that have been happening in my life.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about it. Honestly, I'm in a place where this is really giving me a lot of like joy because I'm like, I've always wanted to kind of keep track and kind of document my life. I don't know. That didn't come out right. I'm just saying like not my life, but just what's happening because there's so many things that are happening. Because
you were talking about doing a vlog.
You know, I'm working on it. If anyone wants to hit me up with suggestions, you know, give me the cheat code to making it happen. I know there's no cheat code. I'm just saying that like I'm gonna put in the work, but I'll use all the help that I can get. But
we just need a Gumbo reality show.
Yeah, and a GoPro. Venmo me, please. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's going to be so many things happening right now. And I think that within the running community, within running history, I think we are within it in a really weird way. I know that sounds weird, but like when you think about the history of running, road running, it's not very long. It's relatively new, and it really is. It really is. I'm not going to say, I mean, generations past, sure. But ultimately, when you think about like running in Portland and Bowerman,
you know what, you're right.
Like, that's like the 40s, I think. Or some 50s. 50s. Y'all going to come for my neck. I already know. 50, 60, I don't know. Research. Okay. Don't come for me. All I'm saying is like, but it really started popping like 70s, 80s, 90s, but it was like 50s. I'm not joking.
Nah.
Yes,
no, I think you're wrong.
60s.
So I think Bowerman's jogging book came out in the 70s.
But no.
And that was one of the books that made jogging popular for regular ass people. Okay, Googles. We doing our Googles. Let's go.
I mean, this guy, you know, keep talking.
Local legend.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Bill Bowerman dropped his book, and
he died in 99. So
yeah. But Nike didn't start until the 70s. And I think Bill Bowerman's book came out after Nike started.
Someone here already knows the answer, and they're probably laughing at us right now.
Dead ass, like straight up. Like if you haven't read the book by Phil Knight called Shoe Dogs, honestly, hands down, one of the best books I've ever read. Like no cap at all. Like this ain't like no like, oh, it's Nike, I gotta kiss their ass. Like that book is legit fire. It inspired me in so many different ways to do so many different things. Since I started reading it, I will be honest and say that I started reading it once I got into Nike because some of the employees at the running store here in Chicago put me onto it. Amazing. I've literally read it 3 times. It's legit. His story is amazing. But you pulled it up yet? Just Google when Bowerman dropped
jogging.
The book.
I know. That's what I literally just looked up. It's called Jogging, and it's like for some reason they want to give me the date. But look, everyone, look, running. Honestly, though, it's relatively new when it comes to Black people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And also relatively new when you think about clubs, like run clubs coming together and things of that sort. Because, I shouldn't say we all know. For those, I'm just going to say it, running is a leisure sport. People who, not a leisure sport in the sense that it's easy, but it's for people who have time to run. It's something that white folks did because they had the time. Black folks was working. We were building this country, okay? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like we was, at the end of the day, Black folks they didn't really feel like they had the time to just be out here running for no reason.
I don't have a drop of the book.
67?
We in the 70s right now.
Okay.
70s, help inspire. So Steve Fontaine, Frank Shorter, Bill Rogers helped inspire 1970s running boom. He dropped his book. Let me see when he dropped his book. It's going to pop up.
I thought it says 1967.
I ain't see nothing about it. Where you see 67?
At the very top.
Oh, okay. It says 67.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but I would say the 60s were something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he died in 99. So he was already, he was already running. You know what I mean? So it's like him starting. Anyways, I'm not going to get into this because it's wrong. I'm just mad. I'm honestly irritated that we spent this much time on it. Anyways, moving on. What's next?
But no, listen, I was listening to an IG live and they was talking about to Tony Reed. Dope ass black man. Dope black man. I wish I took notes so I could regurgitate it here on a podcast. But that was a cringy word. But he started an organization called Black Marathoners Association.
Yeah.
But this man has ran double-digit marathons on every continent.
Wait. So several double digits, or like double digits in general, which means that
double digits in United States, double digits in Asia,
so he's in 100. He's run over 100.
He's run over 150 marathons.
Shit.
And stuff like that. Like the man is a complete badass, and he talked about how he would be, because he's not built like a traditional runner is. He was like, I forget his measurements and how much he weighed, but he's like, when I was young, I was built more like a linebacker. So he's like, he remember pulling up, I believe it was at Boston. He was talking about how he heard the white guys talking about him, like, he's way too big. How is he going to run? There's nowhere where he can keep this. Because he was like, I was out there primarily by myself, in the early start of road running. And then he met, I forget the woman's name that he met. I'm going to get him on this podcast so he can tell this story because I'm doing it no justice. But they ended up, founding the Black Marathoners organization, found out there were more people around the country. They meet up like once a year and stuff like that. I think I'm going to make it kind of like part of my personal goal to get more young people to sign up for it. Yeah,
all of these running associations need the younger crew, because I think it's kind of like this unsaid known thing that running is not considered a cool sport. And also, it's cool to us. And we made a whole podcast about it. But and we're millennials. But I think that ultimately it seems to be like this older sport that you get into. And a lot of these brands are, they struggle to grab the attention of younger crowds. Gen Z, coming up, Gen Alpha, like they're thinking about how do we get these folks to run? And then when you think about these organizations that have been created, it's like, yeah, they need us. We need them. They need us. But the thing is like, are they reaching out? I don't know.
It's a company who did that 7 on Sunday is working with right now. Yeah. That wanted us to get some Gen Z runners. And we was like, all right, we're gonna shoot our shot and try because we want to build this relationship with this company. But we could only find like maybe 1 or 2 Gen Zers and want to run. It's like who at 21, like unless you were already coming out of college from running track. Yeah. You trying to club. You ain't trying to get up at 7 a.m. on Sundays to... Because
you're going to be tired all the time and your body's going to be tired all the time. Like it's a mental fatigue. It's a physical fatigue. And I mean, those who... y'all know.
I wish I was running at 20.
But at the same time, there's actually a lot to be said about runners who pick up running later in life because they're not wearing down their joints as much. Yeah. So we'll get into this later in the podcast. But I was telling Ian that I took the Roadrunners Club of America course, which is like RRCA certification for running. And I learned a lot from that. And there was runners from like all different backgrounds. Most of them were white. It was me and Gumbo Fit co-captain Mike in the we were like basically the only black folks. There was another older like light-skinned woman. But that was it. It was just us. And there was about 65 students on Zoom.
Damn.
Yeah. We were the only people of color.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's like running is such a white sport. And it's so interesting because these folks really don't even see it because some of them want to be coaches, some of them take the course just because they want to be a better runner. But then when the instructor asks, okay, well, we start talking about the business of running, and then we start talking about like, well, who's your demographic, the instructor goes, well, I don't really like the term demographic and da-da-da. And I'm just like, okay, but if you're not being intentional about who you're trying to serve, and you're ultimately people attract like, right? Attracts like. So ultimately, if you're a white person, you're just going to attract other white people. And that's what most of these folks are doing. And then they say, well, it's okay. I just am serving the community and doing what, they find me. It's fine. I just want to be a generalist. Demographics. I just don't understand the word. It's so weird. And so it's like that part is really irritating because I'm like, you're being exclusive, but then trying to hide behind the bullshit of like, I don't want to be specific. And it's like, it's fine. Don't be specific. That's you, whatever. Ultimately though.
Because running is because I see like Courtney's cheeks are starting to turn red. Nah. So, but like running is a communal sport. And if you're facilitating running, it's going to be in your community. And so if it's in your community, and this is me making assumptions about white people, but like, if you're a white person living in a white community, that's the communal running that you're going to do is that. So it's what needs to happen is like, of course, most of us need to have access to these classes and these resources. And it's super dope because it also helps us to better facilitate the running within our communities and stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, me personally, I'm just whatever.
Yeah, it is whatever.
It doesn't.
I think
I'm here
what I'm
to
saying,
do
though,
what it needs.
What I'm saying is, it's just that there's little effort to.
But you gotta think about it.
I'm not saying it's there. I'm just saying ultimately, I see while taking the class, it's just funny to see, how, the lack of diversity really is. Of no interest for people. And that's to be expected. I'm not surprised. I don't feel any type of way about it, but it's good to just acknowledge the fact that like, yes, running is a very white sport, but we're working to change that with this podcast, with our community gatherings. And ultimately it's like, yeah, like white folks gonna be white. Y'all probably have heard me say that many times. Ultimately, that is what it is. So,
I mean, when the whole sport is about running with no destination. Like, honestly, like you're literally, you're going somewhere.
Ian.
It's a mental destination.
Okay.
Fuck all of that.
It's a mental destination.
You're just out here going somewhere and nowhere at the same time and stuff. So it's like, it's just a super leisure sport. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's super dope if we could get some more like black running coaches.
Yeah.
That shit would be fire. It's
gonna happen. It's happening. So I think and
we should put some pressure on what's it, RCCA?
RRCA. So yeah, like, I mean,
reach out.
Yeah, so there's all of that. But okay, again, I'm going to get into the actual course later on. I first want to get in. I think we should get into updates, personal updates.
Personal updates?
Because like that is one of my updates. And I actually do want to talk about the course because there's a lot that I learned. But I want to know what's going on with you, Ian.
What's going on? So if you follow me on IG, you know that when I run, I post about running. So over the winter, I was not posting a lot about running because I was not running a lot. So it was like, it was more obligational running because it was like, I have my organizations, there's Gumbo, there's 7 on Sundays. So, like I was showing up to these runs, being an active participant of the community. But on a Wednesday, I wasn't doing nothing. So recently I started this training program. It's a half marathon, it's a 10-week training program. I don't have a race coming up. It's just to structure running for me because I think once I take the thought out of it and my only responsibility is to get up, put on some clothes and do the workout that is there for me, it helps me run more consistently. And so I'm in week 3. Yesterday is Tuesday. Tuesdays. I've been doing 2-a-days on Tuesdays.
Yeah, you literally you got 2 tempo runs in.
Listen. I do a morning workout at the 41st Street Bridge. 7 on Sunday meets up at 6:15 on Tuesdays, along with November Project. And we run across the bridge. It's strength and conditioning mostly because we do strength exercises on each side of the bridge. And it's roughly a 3-mile run, but it's interval because you do exercises in between. And what I will say is yesterday at Track Tuesday, because in the evening I'll go to Gumbo's Track Tuesday and I'll do their track workout with them. But like yesterday, I felt, it was the first time I felt that good in a minute doing a track workout. Like, yeah, I was breathing hard because I was running fast, but at no point in time that I hit a wall, at no point in time where I was just dead. Mm-hmm. Like that shit just felt good. Like I was charged up after that. I wasn't worn out. I was like, everything. The 800 was cool. And honestly, I ran every lap. We did a 8, 6, 4, 6, 8 with a finishing off with 200.
2x4s.
Yeah, 2x4s. And at no point, like all of them, I ran faster than I intended. It was hard for me to slow the fuck down, honestly. But I ran them all faster than I intended. And I just feel like my performance was crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like the work that I've done in these last 3 weeks has been quicker than any other re-up. Because my bad habit, my toxic running trait is post-marathon, barely running.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And so I lose so much of what I build up during training season. I lose between November and March, I've lost so much of it. What I've learned is you never lose speed. Aaron always says that to me. You never lose speed because your body remembers how fast it goes. What you lose is your lungs. You lose your stamina.
Your endurance.
Stuff. Yep. And even just the mechanics of running and stuff like that, because it just took me a while for my body to just get used to the motion of running again. But
yeah,
I'm feeling real good.
Good.
I'm loving it. This shit is amazing. And I don't know. That to me, that's like my one big ass update for running for me is the fact that like I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm super in it and I feel fucking amazing. I've been running in Brooks lately too.
Yeah, I mean Brooks, you said it yourself. They're rated top.
They are rated. Number one. They are number one.
I do not agree.
They
Okay.
whatever. Like, the Nike joints are sexier. I ain't gonna stunt. Like, I talked to Brooks and they say, like, yes, Nike makes better looking shoes. But what I will say is that because I wanna, as y'all know, I own a running store, and it's really important for me to be able to service my customers the best way that I can. And so having personal experience with the things that I sell in the store is really important to me. And Nike, I'm going to run in every Nike shoe. I have run in every Nike shoe since the Pegasus 34, since I started working for Nike. And right now I am doing my due diligence to build up as much personal experience in the Brooks, running in different scenarios so I can have that conversation with my customers and understand where they're coming from when they telling me their stories.
Right.
Shit's fire. I have enjoyed the Ghost. I have enjoyed the Glycerin. It's just pure comfort for my feet. They're not designed to necessarily make you go faster. They're designed for you to enjoy the run. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, so, I'll give my update.
Yes, please. I've been waiting on her update. I've been wanting to know about her update. I'm like sitting up here sipping on this pink ass juice right now. Like, I feel like this should be in a styrofoam cup with some ice, but it's just filled with like BCAAs, some collagen, and some fiber and stuff because I'm recovering.
Talk about
getting rid of this tummy, okay? Because
that's okay. Can we pause? That's Ian's number one thing. You're gonna hear Ian talk about this.
Listen,
nonstop.
Those who know that I have a body goal. You got a
body. Let's just talk about it. You got a body.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
Ian got body.
You're right. Yes. And I serve it up every summer. Okay. You get by all summer. But like I have a goal. It's been a struggle, but I feel like this. Actually, okay, before you go to your date. Before you go
I'm
to your
patient.
date.
It's okay.
Okay.
We gotta hear about Ian.
Because like
Ian gonna tell you about him.
Whatever. I have no time. It was roasting me and it was roasting me yesterday at track. But no, like my Achilles heel with my weight loss journey, because I've been on this weight loss journey for maybe 7 or 8 years. And the biggest loss that I made was maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago when I lost like 20, 25 pounds. I used to be 250, 248 and stuff. And then I dropped down to 230, 225, between 230 and 220 and stuff. And so that's mostly where I've been until I started running. Because usually race day, my race day weight is around 200. But then, of course, afterwards, I build it back up.
Then you go and eat pizza.
The entire 2 seasons after a marathon training. But my Achilles heel is not what I'm eating, it's how I eat, and I overeat because I have an emotional attachment to food.
Feel it. Yeah.
And I eat happy, bored, sad, mad, whatever. If there's an extreme emotion, I literally feel a hole in my stomach that needs to be filled. And so I feel like this year I've done I don't even know, but I'm getting control over my appetite. I'm getting control over my portions. I'm learning how to say no more to food. And oh my God, I just feel like this year I'm going to achieve things.
You're going to break new boundaries.
I'm going to fucking achieve things.
Yeah. I wish you luck and I support you. Let me know if I can help in any way.
Thank you, because your boy a paid model now. I ain't gonna speak too much on it.
You're gonna see it when it drops. You're gonna see the content when it drops. Just pay attention.
Listen,
that's all we gotta say.
Courtney ain't the only model on the podcast no more, y'all.
We can get into that on another podcast. If you follow my Instagram, you'll see it for yourself. Don't bother me, okay?
But tell me what's up with you.
So since our last recording, I took a week off with my family, and my family would be my fiance, Matthew, and then my brother. I can get into that too. Maybe y'all let us know if you really want to know about our personal lives.
You can't keep kicking cans down the road.
What do you mean?
You'll say something I'll elaborate more.
I keep kicking it down. Yeah, you're right.
To be continued with every conversation.
Here, I'll give a brief little spiel on the situation. Basically, so my brother, he's 26. He lives with Matthew and I. I am his his guardian. His legal guardian, to be exact. And he has a disability. He had a brain tumor when he was 3. It affected his motor skills, and so he just needs help. He's in a weird. Matthew and I talk about this all the time. He's in a very weird place as someone that is differently abled because he is very independent in many ways.
Oh yeah, he's a grown ass man.
He's a grown man, but then at the same time, and this is where the frustration really comes in for him and for us, but we are dealing with it as a family, getting through it together, is that he is not completely cognitively aware of everything. He needs help with problem solving, and thinking through the things that he wants to do, just being aware of his surroundings. That's where he needs help. He couldn't actually be he can't really be out here just living by himself. You know what I mean?
Assisted living.
Yeah, he needs something, but it's I prefer, but assisted living, even people don't really give him the attention that he needs because he comes across as a lot more able than he is. So then I don't think he.
I don't think he necessarily needs to be in an assisted living program.
Yeah, but he needs assistance in living.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
So and that's what Matthew and I provide. He's been with us for about 2-3 years now. 3 years, I think, altogether now. So it's definitely been an adjustment for us, but we make it work, and we're continuing to figure out the best ways to serve him, to serve us.
Y'all need to follow him on Instagram. My man's arms is fucking crazy. I worked out with him. Okay, that's a grown ass man. I just want y'all to know.
Yeah.
He ain't playing no games in the gym. What the Rock say? He be slanging and banging.
Yeah, his arm. He's very strong.
Yes.
Very, very strong.
He got body.
Yeah. And also he too. It's he really is also very handsome. So I've been trying to help him with his style recently and his fits recently. I'm bruh, I got him some new Nikes, for the leisure, for just every day.
The post haircut photos.
He's looking nice.
The post haircut photos.
Yeah, he loves it.
I followed him on IG. He was yeah, my man's just hooked up the line. The
way he loves his barber.
I'm bro, you too cool for me?
Yeah. Because, we're both me and my brother are from Minnesota originally. And but he grew up in rural Minnesota. So barbers like that were nowhere to be found. So when he came to Chicago, I said, let's hook it up. Let's find you a barber you actually like. And so we found Tradarius, and shout out him, shout out T. We drive all the way up north and west.
Oh, wow.
I make a hike so that Russell can see.
Oh, you take your brother to the shop.
See his barber that he loves. Okay?
I love it.
The commitment is real. The love is real. So anyways, if you want to hear more about that, write in a question or two, whatever. DM me, whatever. I'm trying to be a little bit more open about it, but it is what it is. Either way. So we as a family have decided for the first time, we're let's go on a family trip. Matthew really wanted to go to the Southwest. We were both, all of us, Matthew and I are both really interested in national parks. And, just I have recently been getting into hiking kind of as a cross training thing, I'm just trying to see, okay, I want to make sure that I'm active, but I don't always want to run all the time.
Of course.
Trying to mix it up. Also, eventually get into a little bit more swimming and stuff like that. But that's another conversation.
Let's go.
I'm not trying to kick another can down the road, but we will get into that.
Open water swimming. We doing it.
Yeah. So Matthew really was all right, let's go to Zion. He saw he planned a route. And so what we did is we flew into Las Vegas, and Russell, he loved Las Vegas. That was his vibe. He could have stayed there the whole trip. He could have just been bye, y'all. See you when you get back.
Oh my God.
He was he was living his best life when he saw Vegas, and he made sure he got a shirt. I got a shirt too, but he was yeah.
I love this.
Great. And then we rented a car. So we rented a car in Vegas, and then spent some time in the Strip just to have that experience. But we didn't spend the night there. We actually ended up driving 3 hours into Utah. where Zion National Park is. And we stayed in this small, rural little town called Orderville, Utah.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's an hour. No, it's 30 minutes away from Zion National Park and then an hour from Bryce. And so we went to Zion. We stayed 3 nights, and we stayed at this resort type thing that had camping, but it was glamping. And we stayed in this tent that had 2 queen size beds, a kitchen, and then a full bathroom. But then it's still outside because the tent's kind of on an elevated platform, but air still coming in because it was cold at night. We had it has electricity, so we had the heaters going, but it's very much of a glamp experience. And then we had a barbecue and a fire pit, so we did s'mores, and that was really great. Zion National Park is one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen. And I know there's a lot of beautiful places. I know that I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of different places in the world, and I know that there's a lot of beautiful places, but I'm saying if you have the opportunity to go to Zion, please go. Do yourself a favor, because every time I just open my eyes, because you drive into the park, you pay $35 and that gives you a week pass. You can go several times in a day. You can go anytime during that week time frame. All you gotta do is show your receipt. And so you can go on different hikes. You can just go to an overlook. You can just drive through it. You can do whatever you want. And there's official hikes and then there's unofficial hikes. We did an unofficial hike, which was just an overlook. That's kind of some of the pictures that I posted. And again, going back to Russell, this kind of gave us an idea of what totally we can do with him. So we Matthew and I would wake up early in the morning, go on a hike ourselves. And then later we'd come back, take a nap or whatever, get situated. And then we would take Russell out, and then he would see more just we would just kind of stop on the side of the road, take photos, or we would just go to an easy walk up overlook type situation.
All right.
Because he doesn't have the balance and coordination really to do a full hike.
Of course.
And it gets dangerous. It gets very dangerous. I really wanted to do, before anybody writes in and just says, oh, did you go to Angel Peak and stuff? Yeah. I looked it up, and I honestly, I'm going to show this to Ian so that he can get an idea. But it's a very Angel's Peak look up Angel's Peak in Zion National Park, because that hike, people take their dogs, people take their kids, but it is dangerous. People fall and die.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not even joking, not even exaggerating. And it's
Angel's Landing?
Angel's Landing, yeah. So but when you walk it, a lot of it is they have a railing, but if you let go of the railing, you'd fall off the side of the cliff, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so
how you take your kids in?
Right, people talk about their kids. I had the guy who because we did UTVs as well in Arizona. The guy,
I would never take Juice. Juice is too fucking clumsy.
Right. But even throughout Zion, I think we saw people bring their babies on we didn't do Angel's Landing just because I was down, but Matthew was not. He was you know what? You're clumsy and I don't want to see you die. I said, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm just fine. And I was what is the problem? And then there's also the river walk, because I think, yes. And that is you're submerged in the water. You have to walk in the river. And then you're and then it's the whole canyon and all that shit around you. And
I would do a river walk. Yeah.
So that's something, these are things that we're going to go back to. I think if anything, this trip was an opportunity to just generally see what the situation was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Also, traveling while Black, I need to make sure I feel safe. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to get too adventurous the first time, because I'm not trying to get caught up
with some children of the corner.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get caught up. I just was trying to stay within my comfort zone, because if I was white, I would be out there doing whatever does matter. But white folks are crazy. And I'm going to continue to say this, and I don't care if you're white and listen to this and feel offended, because it's the truth. Okay? History speaks for itself. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be caught out in Utah looking crazy, So no. So ultimately, these are things that I have to keep in mind. We have to keep in mind as a family, because those who saw my Instagram story shortly after, it's we were the only Black family we saw the entire time we were in Utah. Other than Bryce Canyon. Other than Bryce Canyon, I'll give that as like a little exception, because there was maybe 2 other groups of Black folks, but there was no more than 7 or 8 altogether that we saw.
Yeah. Did y'all like exchange numbers just in case some shit went down?
We didn't even look at each other, because it was as if if we did, people would assume we were together. It was that, and I felt so. I was like, wow, we're really doing this. Y'all really you're not acknowledging us. I'm just, it was very much like.
Just passing notes.
Because everyone would have been like, oh, look at this big old Black group of folks. Because there was no more than like 10 of us all together.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, so very crazy.
Don't make eye contact.
We're not together. Because we cannot make these white folks think that we're together, because they will think that we're together. Yeah, so we had to just pretend like we didn't see each other. A shame. So so these are things, and I think that anybody, because I had a lot of people DM me while I was in Utah talking about, oh, you should do this and you should do that, or and it's like, first of all, we had Russell with us. Second of all, I'm Black, you're not. My experience is different.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back, because now I know, but I'm not again gonna get caught up in a situation that makes me feel unsafe. Period.
I don't know, because that's wild that you even thought about that while you was out there, because I just would have been doing shit.
Well, that's what we were doing. I'm not going to say that, the Angels Peak landing thing, that was Matthew just being scary.
Yeah, no, I get you. I probably wouldn't done that shit either, because out of fear, but just the concept of you know what I'm saying? Being afraid of putting myself in a situation where I might be in a precarious situation with other white people. I don't know if I would ever thought about that.
Let me say this. I brought my running shoes, but I did not go running.
Okay.
Because I did not feel comfortable running
by yourself
down the street.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It was kind of stuff like that.
No, yeah, I get it. It's called Order Town.
Yeah.
It's called Order Town.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's everyone was very nice to us.
Yeah.
But when we went to the grocery store, we went to the grocery store there a couple times, and one of the times there was this family there, and the dad was staring at us with so much dislike and disapproval. You could tell just in his eyes. He was shaking his head. He was just like. Anyways, yeah.
We got to throw the whole grocery store away now.
Yeah, but the thing is it's not like I'm surprised. It's not like I don't expect these things. But ultimately, again, it's not like we were just, moving in groups. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to allow Russell to just go out and walk. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I wasn't just about to go out and go do some that by myself.
Yeah,
we need to stick together as a family. But a lot of that is just smart travel, common sense, no matter where you are. But when you're Black, no. I mean, I brought my running shoes, but as soon as we got into Utah, I was like, I'm not running.
Not running?
Nah. No, I'm not running. There's no way, because where would I go?
Is Utah white Mecca?
It's whitey, white. And I'm saying this again, that because I mentioned this as well, on my social media, that there's a lot of words about Native Americans in Utah.
Yeah.
Didn't see not one Native American.
Oh, yeah, nah.
So, They
all in, Nevada and Arizona, right?
Exactly, because of the reservations. But even, I think some of the reservations go into Utah a little bit. But at least in Arizona, I didn't have to be at the reservation to see Native American people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was just, and that's something for me is very interesting, because it's white folks have really taken over this whole area of the West. Yeah. Completely. You know what I mean?
They talked about Native Americans because there was Native Americans who lived there before they were exterminated. Yeah.
Well, before we killed them all.
Yes.
And then also random wooden statues of Native Americans,
That's
stuff
weird.
like that. So, again, I'm not going to say that I feared for my life. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is this is just
this added level.
You got to be cautious. Ultimately, I'm cautious anywhere I travel that is new. Uh-huh. And the next time I go out there, it won't be new as much. So then I know what to expect. I might do a little bit of other things, but for the most part, we stuck to ourselves.
I'm a blonde in a horror movie. I just be
okay. Good for you.
I just be aimlessly.
Yeah, good for you.
And shit.
But you're not. But I would say too, you're also not a woman.
Okay.
So that's also ultimately, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm always going to be this is a new place. I don't know these people. It doesn't matter. I could be in Chicago still. Uh-huh. I'm not going to be out here just out here. I went running the other day, last 2 weeks ago, out of last lap, and I was like, I don't have my watch. Is that safe?
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
You did
so
say
like,
that.
it's just ultimately, I'm always kind of like, it's not like I fear for my life. It's just a constant state of being. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is.
That's wild.
And then it gets elevated when I'm in places that I really don't know.
That's
so
wild.
anyways, then we stayed at this tent, and then we moved and stayed at a little tiny home, which is part of the same resort, but it had a washer and dryer, so we cleaned our clothes.
Oh, that's smooth.
You know what I mean? Think about because ultimately the trip is like 5 nights, 6 days. And so then from there, we drove into Arizona and saw Horseshoe Bend, which is basically, I know it's not exactly, but it's basically the start of the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
Basically. Cool. And so, because it like just starts slightly further north or something like that. Mm-hmm. And because the Colorado River runs through the Grand Canyon.
Yep. The Colorado River created the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, exactly. Water is really powerful. You know what I mean? Water is fucking amazing because a little trickle of water can just because that's something, especially with Bryce Canyon, that's something that we quickly learn is that like the whole reason for the canyon is like water and then like cold weather, expanding, contracting. A lot of that is sandstone. So it's like if you rub on it, it literally turns to sand, you know?
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, it's very like all that stuff is continuously deteriorating from itself. So it's very interesting. And then with the Colorado River though, something again, it's like we didn't do everything because we still were just kind of be like, okay, what is it like out here? What are the opportunities? What are the excursions that are available? Ultimately, we just wanted to see everything first. But we're going back. And so then we learned when we were out at Horseshoe Bend, you could do a kayaking trip. That's like a 5-day kayaking trip down the Colorado River. Wow. Yeah. So like, that's something that would be really cool to do. Yeah. But again, these are things.
So you just kayak along the river and then like you bring a tent and tent.
You can literally camp at Horseshoe Bend because when you look down on it, they had like.
So what y'all do for food? Like y'all fish?
No, we just we ate.
Well, no, my bad. I meant like if you were like
you probably have to bring. I would probably bring a lot of like protein powders, a lot of like snacks, especially vegan stuff. And you stop and there's probably like you can probably go into town. Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think there's a lot of that. I'm not a true camper, so I don't know. I've been glamping.
Let me do some legit camping.
But the thing is like I'm glad that we made it a general trip because that kayaking trip, for example, is very specific. I wouldn't want to do that first because I first want to see everything. So now from there we went on UTVs, which was amazing. It was great. You know what I mean? Whipping through the sand in the desert. That was my thing. I was the one that was like, can we please do an excursion? Please. That's my type of fun. And so Matthew, again, he's very, he's cautious.
He's chill.
He's very cautious. But once he got behind the wheel, he had a great time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then from there, we drove down to Page, Arizona. No, that is where we were. But we drove Flagstaff is where we stayed to go to the Grand Canyon. And again, it's $35 to get into everywhere. Mm-hmm. Horseshoe Bend, I think, was $10.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Bryce Canyon, again, was $35.
That's cheap.
Yeah, so, like, ultimately you're paying, and so then you get into the Grand Canyon, that's $35, too, and then
How much cost to fly into Utah?
Good question. I don't remember. I think the round trip was... we flew into Nevada, and then we flew out of Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what the round trip was.
All right.
But I mean, if you guys are interested in these,
solid baby mama trip. And she been asking to go somewhere.
I mean, it was definitely a good family investment. If y'all really are interested in the pricing, I can actually get. I'm trying to be more open, especially with like if we're gonna do a vlog situation. People appreciate that transparency, and I'm totally open to that. But with the Grand Canyon, definitely go hiking. Don't just go and stand and look. If you're really about it, go on that hike. Because the hike that we went on was really great. It was a kebab hike, I think. Yeah. And it's 70,000 feet down or something like that. Or I'm sorry, 17.
Like,
I said,
whoa.
I didn't say, I like mumbled that and I know it sounded like 70. I was trying 17. Okay.
Okay.
So, but it's, cause that's what the sign said. But, it basically is, but it's not suggested that you go all the way down to the river and back in one day because the elevation difference is crazy. So
Really?
unless you're like very, very fit, you're not supposed to.
Oh, wow.
But people do it anyways. And the way I saw people just trotting down that motherfucking canyon.
That's wild.
I like, honestly.
So it's like if you go down there to the river, stay, and then come back.
Yeah, like spend the night. People camp, because honestly, you can camp in the canyon, but you have to get a permit, and the permits go fast. So not everybody can get a permit. But then people think that that's cool to hike, right? And so then and it's easy to go down because it's like you're walking downstairs basically, and there's twists and turns and stuff like that. But you have to remember you are going to come back up. And also, if you didn't get there early in the day, you're about to hit high heat midday, right?
That's crazy.
So then you have the sun beating down on you. And in Arizona, at high noon, you're getting like, that day that we went, it was like 90 degrees, 85, 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like little to no shade.
That's correct.
And there's people, grown-ass men, just on the side, just like
dying.
volunteer. Literally, there was a volunteer that came up to me afterwards and was like, did you see anybody on the trail that like looked like they needed help? Like every day they get people who get stuck on the trail and then they have to get like picked up. Because people aren't
being
safe.
Extra.
They're being extra. They're not being safe. They don't care. Like, it's actually like a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna actually tell y'all right now how much of it's. Sorry, not 17, y'all. It's 5,000 foot elevation. That was an exaggeration. I be exaggerated. See, that's why I be looking it up.
Sounds like Mount Everest is like 30,000 feet. So
I said 17. Dang, 5.
You said 70,000.
I didn't say 70. I mumbled it and I knew it came out as like it's sound to 70. You know, you guys, you can deal with it. Okay? Clown me, I don't care.
Sin of the world. That's what you walk into.
5,000 foot elevation. And so we did, I think, so we went about halfway down and we did 1,700 feet. So, and that was a 5-mile round trip.
That's legit.
So, and that also, even coming up from that, I was having a hard time.
Really?
Matthew, I don't know what he is, but running comes easy. Hiking came easy. Like, I was coming up behind him and he was just like, and he was like sprinting. And I'm just like, can we just slow down? I'm trying to get my heart rate down. Like, I was like, I have my Garmin with me. I was trying to.
Matthew reserves all of his energy. He does not expend any energy throughout regular life. So when it's time to do active things, he has like he got a battery pack. I don't get it. I really don't. So he was sprinting back up like it was nothing. And that we had to go 2.5 miles up. And so that was just like, yeah. And I was, you know what I mean? Because you're really not getting as much oxygen per breath. So I was like, whew. You're doing the math.
Shit. I was like, ooh, I'm really just not really getting any air. Yeah. And like, so, and people just, and I'm on my way up and people are just like, oh, this is great. You know, did you go all the way down? I'm like, no, I didn't go all the way down. Are you going all the way down? Are you insane? What is wrong with you? Jeez.
That is too much. That trip sound like amazing. Like I didn't even have like anything to say during your story because it was like, my fucking God, I need to do this. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, and honestly, your kids would love it.
Yeah.
You could even that trail that I was talking about with the Grand Canyon. People had their babies in little things behind on their back with a little like awning.
Oh, August ain't for this. August would be like, no. Dad, let's go. This is too much. Too much sun.
Daddy.
August, he would need a cap. He would need sunglasses. August ain't for all of that extra shit. He is like not playing.
I feel like, but your older son, Julius, I feel like he might enjoy it. But like, honestly, the way that people would bring that, like, and I'm just saying this again because it really was surprising to me, the way that like the family, I'm talking about babies.
Yeah, I would not take August.
Down.
I would not take August. 5,000
foot elevation. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Is that safe?
You're staying with your grandma August.
I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not.
And then honestly, Julius, like I would have to tie a rope to both of us because I would just be afraid of him falling, doing something. Julius, no.
Well, I think too, it was very interesting because like because I was talking, with Angel's Landing, that's obviously very sketchy as far as like the room to walk. But even this like Kaibab Trail and Grand Canyon, it's like, I mean, there's space, but ultimately the cliff's right there. It's right there.
That sounds crazy.
So...
You're stressing me out.
Yeah.
You're stressing me out.
So
I can't even stand.
It's real beautiful. I suggest it. I think if y'all have any other questions, I know we have an email now, right?
Oh, shit, we do. We got an email for listener letters.
Yeah.
You feel me, huh? Let me pull it up because I also don't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I think what we could do is like, one, read out some people's just like thoughts. And then also if you have any questions, maybe we could do like a different set. Like we can do 2 where it's just kind of like, if you have a question, email us. If you just have a random thought, email us. If you just want to correct us, leave us alone. I know I'd be exaggerating. Ian be exaggerating too. So just relax.
Correction.
We will correct ourselves eventually.
Yes. Okay. All feelings, no facts.
Because people love
Shouts
to be like, that's incorrect. Yeah, thanks.
I gotta pull up the email. I don't remember the email off the top of my head. But listen, actually, this is an amazing time to remind you to subscribe.
Yeah.
Rate. Okay. Leave a comment. You feel me? Like these things are essential to podcast building and stuff like that, getting out to more people. So the more y'all give us 5 stars, the more you comment in the comment section on Apple, Spotify, whatever you use,
the better.
It'll look out. It'll do us mad justice. And if you make a comment, we'll definitely read that on air. And the way my computer is happening, it's running.
We can let them know. Ultimately, you could just check our description. It'll have it in there. I'll say just one last thing about my trip. When we hit the Grand Canyon, before we even got to the trail, there was this one black woman that we saw, and she was running. And she looked like a athlete.
Yeah.
Like she was getting it. And honestly, some people run that trail. We saw, you run down, and then you kind of slowly run back up.
Yeah.
And if you're used to it, that's totally fine. And honestly, next time I'm going there, I'm going all the way down, all the way back in one day. It's fine. I really feel like I could do it. I just didn't want to die the first time.
Of course.
I just wanted to see it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's better safe than sorry. So, but yeah, that's a lot. That's an exercise that a lot of people do. They actually just run down, run back up.
Yeah,
and as a runner, probably makes you your lungs.
Yeah.
On a whole different level. And then on top of that, I heard somebody else on their way down talk about how it was a guide, because a lot of rich folks come out there and then they pay for private guides and stuff.
Of course.
And the guy was telling the people that she was leading, the couple, that there's this woman who went down, did the, I don't know, it was went down and back and then down and back within 24 hours or 23 hours. And that was her workout. She, that's what she likes to do. And it's like a 10-mile round trip.
That's wild.
Yeah, but it's 20 miles with that elevation change.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No.
Crazy.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
That's a different type of fitness.
Yes, that's, what is she training for?
And then there's some people who will go the entire rim, come back. That's their workout.
Making my hair hurt. Yeah. I don't have no time.
Yeah. Because look at, here, read this on the back of my shirt.
Let's say Grand Canyon, 277 miles long, 18 miles wide, 1 mile deep.
Yeah.
That's the Grand Canyon. That's legit. We should run the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Well, not the 18,
200 miles.
The 18-mile wide part. We should. Oh, we can't run across. That makes no sense.
Well, it's
unless you're alone.
I don't know. But I've heard just people go from rim to rim. I don't know how long it takes. I don't think it takes I don't know if it takes a day. I mean, people are crazy.
What's rim to rim? Start to finish?
South rim to north rim.
I have no.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, you can hike the rim. Okay. Or you could hike down.
Sure.
But that is crazy because it's 1 mile down, but you're going zigzag so much.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up with 5
if you fall,
miles.
It's 1 mile down. Yeah, but if you're walking.
If you're walking, it's about 10.
Yeah. If you fall, your ass PRing.
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. Just wild.
Love it. Yeah. I love it, man. That sounds okay. So let's I want to talk about listen, guys, okay? We recording these episodes. At the time that we're recording, nobody knows that we're recording them.
No one even knows that we're doing a podcast, really.
Exactly. So when you get it is when you get it.
Not ready for this fire.
You feel me? But so this may or may not be relevant when it drops, but we're actually, 7 on Sundays is doing an event called Everesting the 41st Street Bridge, okay? There's a blue bridge that goes over Lakeshore Drive, and our amazing runner, Rosalie, who is unnecessarily comfortable with just doing math for random shit, did the math on the elevation for the bridge, and it will take 454 laps to equal the elevation of Mount Everest.
That's unnecessary.
Yes. That's what she did. She's also slightly evil. So we're going to do a communal run, okay? It's a collective run. We're trying to get 36 people together to do roughly 7 miles. That's back and forth on the bridge, okay? From one side to the other to equal up to the elevation of Mount Everest. We're going to do it in the evening, so that way it's cooler and stuff like that. By the time we done, it should be the sun should have gone down. It should be like maybe about an hour or so before they start doing fireworks at Navy Pier. So we might be doing some grilling and stuff like that. Nah, this is they do fireworks all through the summer. And so this is gonna be on a Saturday.
Oh.
And so no, it's gonna be the 26th of June.
Okay, so I should come.
Yeah, no, definitely. You should actually sign up and run it.
Okay.
You should run it. You should definitely run it. So that's June 26th. So you'll probably hit this podcast before then. If there's spots, go sign up. If not, come out. Especially if you're not familiar with the running community and you want to get into running, or you run by yourself and just are tired of that shit.
Yeah. This
would be a great event to come meet a lot of people that's within both of our organizations and then both of our run crews. And then just see, what the atmosphere like. Come talk shit, join us and stuff like that. But it's going to be fun. And honestly, like, I'm going to need cheering. I'm going to need some kind of energy because I do 3 miles on this bridge every Tuesday, okay? Mm-hmm. That's tough. So another additional 4 miles. It's not going to be hard, crazy hard. I've done harder things, but it's not going to be smooth, okay?
Well, I will consider. What day is it?
It's going to be on a Saturday evening, June 26th.
Okay, damn.
June 26th.
I'm going on a trip like just 4 days later. I was about to be like, I'm not here, sorry.
Yeah. Shit. Nope, your ass is here. Sign up. I'm going to drop the Google form in your text messages.
Yeah.
Sign up. It's going to be fun as hell.
Okay.
It's going to be fun.
Okay. That's good to know. A lot is going to be ramping up this summer, and I know that, like, ultimately it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, for running, it's going to be crazy. So you already know, man. Follow Gumbo Fit, follow 7 on Sundays. Like, it's this summer is going to be probably the best summer I've had since college.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Some cool, crazy summers in college. But, like, I'm excited. I'm super excited about this summer and stuff like that. You got anything else?
Well, I was going to say, I can really quickly get into the training, the RRCA training.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Not off the top of my head, but just hop in.
Okay, yeah. So, the reason why I feel like it's important to bring up is because RRCA stands for Road Runners Club of America, and they do courses. What? Why are you laughing?
Yo, America, not mine. Listen, mind you, I ended my day of work yesterday watching I Am Not Your Negro, and Samuel Jackson was the narrator of it. Listen, I did leave work.
You bring in the energy.
A little anti-white and stuff. So
Yeah.
That's all I heard in the back of my mind was Samuel Jackson's voice when you said
You're America. So it's the Road Runners Club of America, and they have courses, and I think there's like a course 1 and a course 2, and that's about it. Mm-hmm. And basically, it's a 2-day course. And they do it on the weekends. And it's something that you sign up to. Like, some people signed up just because they want to become better runners. Some people signed up because they actually want to be trainers and they're very interested. They have a community. They're looking to create or grow a community. Everyone kind of had their own reasons. And obviously for me with Gumbo Fit, I just want to make sure that like I can answer people's questions if they have any. And I also want to become a better runner myself. So this really gave me a well-rounded understanding, beginner understanding, I should say, because there is a level 2 of the course of like just fundamentals of running, which I valued so much. And I knew I was going to get something out of it, but I got more than I really could have ever expected. And this is why I wanted to bring it up, because it's like, if you're interested in something like this and you're a person of color, especially, might be something to look into, because there's a wait list. Some people wait very long time. Some people waited 8 months, 10 months, a year more to get in. Shouts out to Nike for helping us with that. But so the course was Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5.
Oh shit, that's all day.
All day.
That's all day.
All damn day. No, excuse me, 10 to 5.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
you're supposed to learn everything about coaching runners in like 2 days.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think if it even was 10 to 5, because it might have been 10 to 7 because we were 2 hours behind. And I think it was 8 to 5 for everybody on the West Coast, and it was 10 to 7 for me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm like, actually, it was longer. It was the longest freaking course of my life. And then you had to wake up and do it again the next day. The next day was a little easier than the first day, but that's the part where I was like, oh, this is going to be hard. Like, my attention span, they better give us breaks. They was talking about a 30-minute lunch. I was like, oh, what? Excuse me?
A 30-minute lunch?
Yeah, so I was really, kind of tight at first. But ultimately they really discussed, like, they went into, to the technicalities of running. They talked about like muscles. They talk about trying to, like, when you need to, I'm forgetting my words right now, but like when you are going into a new climate and you need to, like, what is the term? Why am I messing up my words right now? Like, when, like, say if you go like somewhere that has high elevation, right? Okay, it's going to take a while for you to get used to that.
Acclimation.
Thank you. Acclimation. Yeah. And like talking about, like, if you're going to go do a destination run, like a lot of people know this, but a lot of people don't. Like, you should run that race the day after you arrive and then go sightseeing. People talk about that all the time, but it takes you a very, very long time to acclimate to a new climate. And I think ultimately it takes like a full 6 to 8 weeks if you want to do it the right way. So when you're at, like, if you want to do it the right way, obviously for some people, they probably are like, I just need a couple of days.
I can't stay in Boston for like 6 weeks.
That's why you fly in that night and then you run Boston in the morning.
Gotcha.
You don't come in a couple days earlier. You literally fly in, then run, then enjoy the city. Doesn't matter if you're going at whatever, Florida, whatever. So things like that. Talking about slow twitch and fast twitch muscles. Slow twitch muscles have more blood in them, and so like that's what you convert a lot of your muscles to that when you're becoming a long distance runner. But then when you like think about sprinters, they have a lot of fast twitch muscles, which are more white. They have less blood in them, and they can that is what helps them be fast. But then they hate running slow. They hate long distance because of that reason, because their muscles are actually different. Yeah, they have more slow twitch or more fast twitch than slow twitch muscles.
Gotcha.
So like you learn that technicality of like what it like, and then also we talked a lot about finding your slow before you own your fast, right? Nike kind of talked about, they posted something about this recently on their social media, but it's true. It's like the more you are on your feet, the more you spend time just out there on the road running, the better runner you're going to become. And the more you actually go at a slower pace, 70, they say it was anywhere from like 70 to 80% of your run should be at conversation pace.
Really? Wow.
That changed my whole idea of how I'm, because like I'll be trying to go fast all the time.
Hell yeah, you already
Everybody
know.
wants to go fast.
Hell yeah.
But it's even like the runs that I've done since I've come back from my trip, I've been doing 9:30, 10 minutes per mile. And I used to hate that. Hate it. But I'm just like, all right, let's just get used to it. Let's build up my heart muscle. Let's keep my heart rate low, lower than when I'm trying to like just do the most. And let's just go further for longer. And also like doing time runs instead of just focusing on your distance, right?
Yeah,
a lot
I've been
of people talk
enjoying
about that.
Yeah, Mike put me onto that.
Exactly. Mike put me onto that as well as Picasso. Shouts out to them. But like in this course, we really got into like why that matters. And also like they talk about how like a long run technically isn't anything under 90 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But again, these are things that might come obvious to our listeners, might come obvious to you. But when you hear it in a like classroom setting, it kind of, for me, it kind of like I hear it more, you know? But even still, I'm like, I did a long run technically on Sunday and it was 60 minutes because that was long for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's also about it's also about identifying what pushes you.
Yeah.
Eventually, yes, 90 minutes. And even now, like, even this weekend, I probably should do a 90-minute run. I just want it. But again, I'm very conservative with how I push myself because I really do not want to be injured. That's one thing that I just like, knock on wood, do not want. So I'm more about like, and this, they also talked about this. It's like, it's better to be conservative about your efforts than to just go all out and then risk. Cause it's like, that's high risk, you know?
Yeah.
And so, so a lot of that was discussed, and a lot of that, like, and like hearing that from these instructors, and also like hearing their reasons behind it, because you have like the general instructor, but then there's another instructor who's actually a doctor, and he like trains high school girls, and you know, and he talks about like how he builds his training plans. We also built training plans in the course.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
so
dope.
like, and then we would have like, we called them. Invisible, we'd be like invisible carry or whatever like that, because they're just people we were reading about. And it would be like this person, Robin was one of them. And like Robin could either have been a guy or a woman. And the guy was a little older than the woman. The woman was like 36. But then it was like, this person runs X amount per week. They do speed training. They do X, Y. They do a lot of the stuff. But then they want to get a marathon, they want to, you know, qualify for Boston, they need to get under 3:30. What do they need to change in their current plan? When you're looking at someone who, from a novice, or not a novice, but from like just a quick look, you'd probably be like, oh, they're probably doing everything they need to do. But then it's like, you just have to find the gaps and figure out, like, as a trainer, what actually do you need to be working more on? So very, 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 very informative.
Shit, I need to sign up.
Yeah. So like, so, and it was just, I mean, and I still need to take the test. So, you know, wish me luck. You also have to be certified. You have to take the test, and you also have to get certification for CPR.
Yeah.
So that's that. But that shouldn't be too difficult. So that, like, I'm just, you know, again, mentioning it because I think it's something that more runners should do, even if they aren't necessarily looking to train. It could just be a great opportunity to learn how to be a better runner, learn the fundamentals, and also, just like kind of push you to that next level. It does cost $300. It's like $360.
That's crazy.
So again, the accessibility is an issue. And I'm always going to be, we're always going to be looking out for that. And I think that that's something that they need to work on as an organization, because that's ridiculous.
Hell yeah.
So
I'm trying to figure out who I can get to pay for my class.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not cheap. And also you will be waiting on the waiting list, period. Period. So, and then the test is an open book. Yeah. So I'll take the test before our next call, or our next recording, and then I can kind of let you all know how that goes. But yeah, another good thing for if you guys are interested in like learning more and you want to write in a question or something like that, please do, because then I can talk about it in our next recording, because this one should be released pretty soon. Yes.
Y'all finally gonna be getting this. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Dog, no. So that's awesome. That sounds amazing. My brain is already turning on to get signed up for that class, because that's definitely something like I was telling you before we started recording, getting that up under me, Aaron, and Craig's belt, just make a lot of the ideas and a lot of programming that we want to do a lot easier.
Yeah.
For ourselves, is having that, because not only just are we doing a lot of things just off of experience, but, our runners feeling comfortable, feeling security within that certification, and then the advice that we're giving them and stuff like that, I think is helps.
Yeah. I mean, and I want all of us in this community to elevate in that way. I mean, I know you do too. And so it's like, we just need to figure out, like you're saying, who's going to sponsor us? Because that's what honestly needs to happen. Because it's kind of ridiculous how, like, you when you first come into running, they're like, all you need is shoes. And it's like, no.
Right.
You need a little bit more than shoes.
Listen, what's the name of the organization?
RRCA, Road Runners Club of America.
CA.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do a Black Runners class.
Okay. They need to dedicate it to us.
Like, let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Get you, everybody, Target, Walmart, all of these corporations got their Black coins during the pandemic and during the civil unrest. You know what I'm saying? They did what they could to what's the word I'm looking for? Cater to pander to Black people. I think it's time for y'all to pander a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'll take some pandering in the form of classes.
Right.
Like, let's go. Like, let's make that happen. But I don't know. That's pretty much it from me. That's all I have today.
That's all I have as well. And I think that we were we talked about everything we had on our list. So if anything, it'll be interesting to hear from our listeners and see if there's anything specific that they want to hear from us.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So the listener letter email is runnersclub773@gmail.com.
We gonna have to switch that up, Brad. Nah. You know what? You gonna have to edit this part out, and we're gonna have to find a different.
It's Runners Club 773. We're not changing it. We're not changing it.
Why is it 773?
Because that's where we at. Is that? Nah. Is that not where you live? Is that not where you live? Is that not where you live?
That's not my area code. I still have a 612. So sorry.
I don't.
Okay, so
what choices?
I'm just gonna
let me spell it for you guys.
I'm gonna see if we can find something, because it needs to be.
We're not changing it. It's
for now. For now.
RUNNERSCLUB773@gmail.com.
It's gonna change, but for now, sure.
Send it over.
For now.
We're not changing at all.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening.
She gonna have to beat me in a foot race if she want to change it.
Look, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. You know what I mean? Tell us who your favorite host is.
Why would you have them lie to you? Why would you just want them to lie to you?
But yeah, we'll be back. See you next week.
Awesome. Peace.